Have you ever felt like you know everything, yet keep repeating the same wrong things? You know excessive phone use is harmful, yet fingers automatically open the screen. You know discipline is necessary, yet laziness wins. You know you need to do something big in life, yet the day ends without doing anything meaningful. If yes, then the problem isn't you. The problem is your dopamine system. Today's person isn't weak. Today's person has been hacked. Their brain has been trained to consider instant pleasure more important than long-term purpose. Reels, short videos, likes, notifications, sugary food, late-night scrolling. None of this is a coincidence. All of this directly attacks your brain's dopamine circuit. And when dopamine goes out of control, a person's focus, willpower, and identity, all three become weak. In this audiobook, we won't demonize dopamine because dopamine isn't the enemy. Dopamine is the chemical that brought humans from caves to civilizations. The problem isn't dopamine. The problem is uncontrolled dopamine. In this audiobook, you'll learn: how does dopamine actually work? Why does motivation come and disappear? Why is discipline neurological, not emotional? How is social media training your brain? And most importantly, how to bring your brain back under your control. This audiobook isn't surface-level motivation. This is a deep psychological journey. If you listen to this completely, you won't be the same person. If you're ready to understand your mind, let's begin. Chapter 1. Dopamine, the chemical that drives you. People often call dopamine the pleasure chemical. But this isn't the complete truth. The truth is, it's half-truth. And half-truth can sometimes prove more dangerous than complete lies. Dopamine's real job isn't to make you happy. Its real job is to push you forward. Dopamine is anticipation, the feeling that I'm about to get something. When you open Instagram, dopamine doesn't release after watching the video. It releases before that. At that very moment when the screen is loading, when the brain is thinking, maybe the next video will be fun. The same applies to junk food. The excitement while opening the packet, that's dopamine. Even before the taste comes, the brain activates in expectation of reward. This is why after getting the thing, satisfaction often doesn't come. Watch the video, ate the food, yet something feels empty. Because dopamine's job isn't to give reward. Its job is to give push. It says, keep going, find more. In ancient times, this same dopamine kept humans alive. It made them get up for hunting, forced them to find food, gave them strength to take risks to protect their tribe. At that time, dopamine was rare. You had to work hard to get it. Today, the situation is reversed. Today, dopamine is available every second. One swipe, one notification, one like. The brain gets a signal on every small thing. And what becomes unlimited starts losing its value. Today's brain has slowly become like an addicted lab rat. Little dopamine on every swipe. Little dopamine on every notification. Little dopamine on every validation. And when dopamine spikes repeatedly, the brain pulls down baseline happiness. The result: things that felt good before now feel boring. Studies feel heavy. Work doesn't engage. Silence feels irritating. And real life starts feeling slow and dull. This is where the modern addiction loop begins. A person doesn't become bad. They just become predictable. And predictable people are easiest to manipulate. So if you truly want to reclaim your life, the first step is understanding your dopamine. Because until you understand what's driving you, you won't be able to sit in the driver's seat. Chapter 2. Pleasure versus purpose, the brain's biggest battle. In every person's brain, every day, every hour, every minute, a silent war rages. This war isn't visible from outside. There's no noise, no blood spilled. But this very war's decision determines which direction a person's life will go. This war decides whether someone will move toward their dreams or just pass days. This battle has only two sides, pleasure and purpose. Pleasure is what makes you feel good immediately. Eating something sweet, watching reels on phone, scrolling late at night. Validation without effort. Pleasure's nature is very straightforward. It never looks at the future, never thinks about consequences. It asks only one question: what will feel good right now? And because the human brain is naturally present biased, immediate happiness seems more attractive than future big benefits. Purpose is exactly opposite. Purpose is what feels difficult now, but changes tomorrow. Studying, learning a skill, working out, building discipline, sitting alone and questioning yourself. Purpose doesn't feel good immediately. It's slow, often feels boring. But this very thing makes a person stand out from the crowd. Pleasure gives comfort, but purpose gives identity. The real battle happens here. Pleasure is automatic. Purpose is intentional. Pleasure is emotional. Purpose is rational. Pleasure gives dopamine spike. Purpose teaches to delay dopamine. The brain naturally wants to choose the easy path. So as soon as you say, "I'll follow discipline from today," the brain panics. Its job is to save energy, and discipline demands energy. When you choose pleasure, dopamine spikes, and the brain says good choice. When you choose purpose, initially no dopamine comes, and the brain resists. That's why purpose feels painful at the start. But a deep truth, dopamine doesn't react to a single decision, but to patterns. What's repeated again and again. The brain learns to reward that. The middle time is the hardest. Pleasure has been left behind, and purpose isn't giving reward yet. This is where most people break and believe discipline isn't for them. Whereas the real problem isn't motivation or willpower, it's imbalanced dopamine. When pleasure keeps coming repeatedly without effort, the brain starts considering effort as danger. Studies feel heavy. Silence becomes uncomfortable, and a person can't live without distraction. This is the real addiction. The price of choosing purpose, being uncomfortable, enduring boredom, looking different from others. But a time comes when pleasure itself tires you out, and then purpose's voice is heard, slow but true. Pleasure and purpose can walk together, but on one condition. Pleasure should be a reward, not an escape. When pleasure is earned, it doesn't become addiction. Purpose first, pleasure later. This is the brain's natural balance. And the person who understands this balance truly takes control of their life into their own hands. Chapter 3. The trap of instant gratification that slowly steals life. Instant gratification seems like a small feeling. Want it now. Should feel good now. Should get relief now. These things sound trivial, but this very feeling slowly changes the entire direction of a person's life. Because instant gratification makes you addicted to short-term pleasure and quietly leaves long-term life behind. Instant gratification means choosing something that gives immediate dopamine, even if its effect is harmful in the future. Picking up phone, opening notification, binge-watching late night, telling yourself just 5 more minutes, or thinking I'll start tomorrow. Every time you choose instant gratification, you send your brain a clear message that the future doesn't matter. And the brain learns this message very quickly. The brain likes instant gratification because it's built for short-term survival according to evolution. In old times, food found, immediately ate it. Danger appeared, immediately ran away. Back then, future planning was a luxury. But today the problem is the brain is the same old one, while the environment has completely changed. Today, food is everywhere. Distraction is unlimited, and pleasure has become very cheap. Yet the brain still runs on that same old rule. Take what you get now. This is where the dopamine loop forms. First, boredom or stress comes. Then phone is picked up. Dopamine spikes. Some relief comes. After that, dopamine crashes, and the same boredom returns. Every time this loop gets faster, and every time the relief gets shorter. A time comes when the brain stays restless without the phone. This is addiction's real beginning. The biggest price of instant gratification. It slowly steals focus, patience, deep thinking, and emotional stability. This damage doesn't show in one day, so most people don't even feel it. They think everything's fine, until one day they can't say they can't stick to anything anymore. Instant gratification ate boredom. But boredom is the brain's reset button. When a person endures boredom, the brain slows down, dopamine normalizes, and creativity starts awakening. But as soon as you run from boredom, the brain never resets. So clarity doesn't come and motivation remains hollow. Instant gratification also tells a clever lie. Just this once. The brain doesn't understand the difference between one time and habit. Every one time is a vote for future behavior. Slowly, these votes combine to become identity. So instant gratification doesn't just steal time, it steals identity. The way out of this trap isn't abandoning pleasure, it's learning to delay. When urge comes, pause a bit, focus on breath. Ask yourself, where will this take me? This small pause becomes the beginning of freedom. Instant gratification isn't poison, but its overdose definitely hollows out life slowly. Chapter 4. Social Media and the Dopamine Trap. Social media in itself isn't a bad thing, but the way it's designed is what makes it dangerous for your brain. Social media doesn't steal your time. It steals something far more valuable. Your attention weakens your willpower, slowly changes even your identity. And the scariest thing, all this happens so comfortably that you don't even realize. Most people think social media sells content, but actually, social media sells dopamine. Likes, comments, shares, views, followers. Every interaction creates a small dopamine spike in the brain. This spike isn't very strong, but it's constant. And this very consistency conditions the brain. The brain learns where it can get small happiness repeatedly. Infinite scroll is the most dangerous part of this design. Earlier, TV programs would end. Screen would turn off. But on social media, nothing ever ends. Infinite scroll signals the brain that the next reward is just about to come. This very anticipation is dopamine's real trigger. Whether content is good or bad, the brain doesn't care. The brain just keeps thinking, what's next? Social media algorithm doesn't try to understand you. It trains you. It doesn't see what kind of person you are. It sees where you stop, what you react to, what you ignore. Then it strengthens that same pattern. If you watch negativity, more negativity is shown. If you consume shallow content, depth slowly disappears. Eventually, a person becomes what they consume daily. Short videos have made the biggest attack on attention span. The brain is being taught, if fun doesn't come in 5 seconds, move on. This effect shows in real life. Books feel boring. Conversations feel heavy. Silence becomes unbearable. A person is physically present, but the mind is wandering somewhere else. This is attention collapse. Social media also shows the most poisonous form of comparison. Everyone appears happy, successful, perfect. The brain compares. Dopamine drops. Self-worth starts shaking. Then the person scrolls more, starts looking for more validation. This loop slowly creates exhaustion and depression. Social media rewires the brain so that fast pleasure seems normal and slow rewards seem useless. Hard work feels heavy. Long-term goals seem distant. An instant escape becomes attractive. This isn't an accident. This is design. The solution isn't leaving social media. The solution is awareness and boundaries. Social media is a tool, but a tool only works when you control it. If it's controlling you, it becomes a trap, not a tool. And remember, The person whose attention isn't in their control doesn't have their life in control either. Chapter 5. The neuroscience of discipline. Not emotion, but training. Most people consider discipline an emotion. They say, I'm not feeling disciplined today. Mood isn't right. No motivation. But neuroscience proves this thinking completely wrong. The truth, discipline isn't a feeling. Discipline is a trained neural system. This very misunderstanding keeps most people behind in life because they connect discipline with the most unstable thing, emotion. Discipline doesn't mean punishing yourself. Discipline means doing the right thing, whether you feel like it or not. And here the problem starts because the brain finds not feeling like it completely natural. The brain's primary job, avoid pain and find comfort. Discipline stands exactly opposite to this instinct. So whenever you try to adopt discipline, the brain shows resistance. Inside the brain, a constant tug-of-war runs. When you choose pleasure, limbic system wins. When you choose discipline, prefrontal cortex works. The problem, limbic system is fast, prefrontal cortex is slow. Due to this speed difference, emotion often wins. Discipline doesn't fail because you're weak. Discipline fails because people consider it a decision, when discipline isn't a decision. Discipline is environment's response. If phone is lying nearby, discipline will be weak. If junk food is visible, discipline will break. Brain isn't logical. Brain is contextual. It acts according to surrounding signals. People also give too much importance to willpower. Truth is, willpower is limited. The more decisions you take throughout the day, the less willpower remains by night. This is why overreading, scrolling, and laziness increase at night. Strong people don't have more willpower. They create environments where temptation itself is less. Neuroscience shows discipline is built from small wins. Every time you do the right thing despite urge, a new neural pathway forms in the brain. Initially it's weak, but strengthens with repetition. This is habit formation. Discipline isn't built from emotion, but from training. If you leave discipline to mood, the brain will always choose comfort. Real discipline comes when you teach yourself, I don't follow feeling, I follow system. Over time, the brain learns to reward effort too. Only then does discipline become sustainable. Discipline isn't what you do when you feel like it. Discipline is what you do when you don't feel like it. And the person who conquers their environment slowly conquers their brain too. Chapter 6. Dopamine detox, myth or medicine. These days, dopamine detox talk is everywhere. Someone says don't use phone for a few days. Someone says give up all pleasures. Dopamine detox has become a trend. But the real question, does this actually work? Or is it just a psychological illusion? Neuroscience gives a clear warning. Half-truth is most dangerous. First, it's necessary to understand. Dopamine detox doesn't mean eliminating dopamine. If dopamine is eliminated, a person won't even have the desire to get out of bed. Dopamine is life drive. The problem isn't dopamine. The problem is continuous artificial stimulation. Detox's real meaning. Bring the brain back to its normal sensitivity where even small things can feel meaningful. The brain becomes overstimulated when it repeatedly gets fast pleasure, high novelty, and reward without effort. In such cases, the brain believes this much dopamine is normal. Then when ordinary things like studies, work, or silence appear, the brain starts considering them understimulating. Result: motivation disappears. Boredom feels painful. Focus breaks. This is overstimulation. Dopamine detox doesn't mean leaving everything and going to the mountains. Real detox means reduce artificial dopamine spikes so natural dopamine can work again. Natural dopamine comes from effort, progress, movement, learning, connection. This dopamine is slow. And overstimulated brains don't like slow things at first. When someone starts detox, initially they feel restlessness, irritation, boredom, anxiety. Many times it feels like there's no desire to do anything. Most people stop here and think detox isn't for them. But actually, this is the healing phase. The brain is demanding fast pleasure back. If you bend, the old loop will return. If you stay, the brain will start adapting. Dopamine withdrawal is real. Addiction isn't just from drugs, it's also from behavior. When leaving phone or reels, the brain shows withdrawal. But this doesn't mean detox is wrong. It just means the brain is changing. Just removing things doesn't make detox work. If you remove phone but don't add anything new, the brain will remain empty. An empty brain is most dangerous. So detox's real path goes through replacement. Walking, writing, reading, deep work, enduring silence. Extreme detox isn't a long-term solution. Real solution is dopamine hygiene, meaning knowing when to take pleasure, how much to take, and at what price. Pleasure should be reward, not escape. Dopamine detox isn't punishment. It's an invitation to let your brain become natural again. And the person who learns to endure boredom is the one who understands real freedom. Chapter 7. Long-term focus. How to bring back lost concentration. In today's world, focus isn't an ordinary skill anymore. Focus has become a superpower. In a time when distraction is everywhere, the person who can immerse themselves in one task with complete attention for even 30 to 60 minutes straight, they automatically stand out from the crowd. But the question, where did focus go? And the bigger question, can it be brought back? Answer is yes, but not with the same brain that distraction has been training for years. Focus doesn't break in one day. Focus weakens a little every day. Every time you see a notification, every time you tell yourself, let me just watch one reel, or when you multitask, then you teach your brain that deep work isn't necessary. The brain learns what you repeat again and again, even if that learning is against you. It's necessary to understand. Focus isn't a moral quality. Focus isn't determined by being a good or bad person. Focus is a neurological state. Deep focus arises when dopamine is stable, stress is low, no distractions around. If dopamine is chaotic, focus becomes almost impossible. This is why overstimulated people can't maintain attention for long, even if they want to. Focus has two forms. Shallow focus. Attention breaks repeatedly. Work feels heavy. No satisfaction. Deep focus. The feeling of time disappears. Work feels meaningful. Dopamine releases naturally. The problem, deep focus feels uncomfortable at first because the brain has become addicted to fast pleasure. Focus's biggest enemy is multitasking. Multitasking isn't a sign of intelligence. It's attention suicide. Every time you switch tasks, the brain has to spend extra energy. This is why multitasking people tire quickly. Work feels more, results come less. Single tasking is focus's real foundation. To regain focus, you have to retrain the brain. And this training always starts with small doses. First day, just sit 10 minutes without phone. Then 15 minutes. Then slowly half hour. Then 1 hour. Focus is like a muscle that strengthens only with exercise. Focus and boredom have a deep relationship. Focus doesn't arise without boredom. If you run from boredom, you're actually running from focus too. When you learn to endure boredom, the brain slowly settles. Thoughts slow down, and focus starts emerging automatically. Silence is the mother of focus. Environment also plays a big role in focus. Clean space. Phone at distance. One task at a time. Brain like simplicity. When focus comes, dopamine stays stable and effort feels rewarding. And this is why focus is discipline's most natural result. Focus isn't a gift. Focus is a conscious choice made every day, every hour. And the person whose attention is deep, their life also automatically becomes deep.